Hey, today on In-Depth Analysis, we're going to be going over archery. Yep, that's right, all of it. This video is split into 3 parts: overarching concepts, bow comparisons, and arrow comparisons. Let's just jump right in. Overarching concepts. When it comes to archery, there are really 2 things that every archer will need to know about regardless of equipment: weight matching and damage ramp up. Let's start with damage ramp up. Basically, the further you are away from your target, the higher the damage your arrow will do, up until a certain point. Once you reach or exceed that distance, your arrows will always do max damage, assuming they hit. Now on to weight matching. It's a pretty simple concept. You want light arrows for your light bows, and heavy arrows for your heavy bows. I mean, if you've ever tried to shoot explosive arrows out of an oak or birch bow, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That said, light arrows work just fine out of heavy bows, but you're missing out on lots of potential DPS from the slow-ass draw speed, so it's better to use valiant or explosive bows to make full use of the higher power bow. Bow comparisons. So, the thing is, I started writing the script for this video before I did the testing, expecting to find that there was more depth to the differences between bows. But there's not. Ash and metal bows are a complete waste of time, with absurdly slow draw times and no reasonable arrows heavy enough to warrant them. And I know someone will complain in the comments if I don't mention bow blades on metal bows, so there you go. I mentioned them. They suck. Walnut is the heaviest weight bow that I would ever recommend using, and that's pretty much exclusively for valiant and explosive arrows. Redwood is fantastic for, like, everything. If you've got an arrow and you're not sure what bow to fire it out of, chances are a redwood bow would be perfect for it. Shame that redwood needs a mithril axe to cut down, though. Oak and birch both fall into the category of good enough for most people, with both of them having a quick draw time and decent power. This is especially true due to the fact that mithril is not only the second most damaging metal in the game, but also the lightest. Remember how I just mentioned that there was surprisingly little depth to the differences between bows? Well, it turns out that extends to arrows too. Light shafts are always better than heavy ones, red fletching is always better than blue, and you'll always want either mithril or valiant arrowheads, depending on personal preference and bow choice. As much as I wish that wasn't it for archery, it is. When I started writing the script for this video, I was expecting to end up going on tangent after tangent about what heavier bows or arrows did that light ones didn't, but in none of my testing did I find anything like that. Heavy-shafted arrows don't even have the slight buff that heavy-handled weapons have. So, if anyone knows anything about archery that I couldn't find in my testing, especially if it gives super heavy bows and arrows a good use case, please let me know in the comments. But with all that said, I'll see you around.